money because there's a crisis.
I don't think.
I can tell you 20 years.
So would say you're also making money off
Promoting ethanol, which reduces CO2. And look, I'm involved with a waste energy to do something productive. I believe in green technology, but it has to be market-based and keep the economy of this country use more technologies that in a very wonderful world. I don't want putting government regulation on the problem. Innovation will solve it.
We're going to talk to one of in just a minute. It is interesting, Gloria, when you hear, and I mean, it seems like a minor point, but I do think for this, believe his gut, brains.
Everything. And, you know, the one, which is that all of us were wrong, but in his gut, although he would probably never admit it, but because I knew how the people felt out there. He's a very successful entertainer. He knows what works. He knows what plays. And probably for some good reason. When you're talking about science, really trust your gut. You have to know all of these things. United States, you have to learn.
The other thing who basically takes no responsibility for also the falling stock market, essentially laying took a lot of credit for the rising. How it works?
Well, look, I think he recognized a huge problem for him, and he knows. And as when he was running 16, he promised manufacturing jobs. That none of these, offices that are would close, and true, and realizes that, and that off the blame onto it off onto the Fed. The economy booming is the way he gets. Certainly knows that. Look, I've worked on presidential elections, but and then it's a re-election for one is that. Record is and what you promised it. And this is a white collar workers are going to look at and say, well, look, I don't have a job.
Isn't that an old actually look at the record? Like
maybe that this is one of the elected, and this is the message, and he knows
Donald Trump shouldn't much about GM. Factories will close. Go out. It didn't campaign to close. Manufacturing will come back. Everybody has to agree. Manufacturing has come back. Growth in that sector has pivoted. Not something Donald Trump is, but pivoted and said, look at the manufacturing. Look at the creation we've created. Every single factory
wanted to act because he understood, promised that, and Donald Trump's fault that he understood that it was political.
Thanks to everybody. The polls are now the reddest of red with a preview of what he is in Mississippi.
Dell Cinema Technology, streaming, and lifelike. Dell Cinema on the shop the biggest. Dell.com.
Hey guys, get some. Thomas.
Hey, quick question for things you don't need. Do you want to get things you
wouldn't?
Exactly.
Right.
Decided that everyone in the that they want without paying for, and why it now comes Apple.
Oh.
Apple Music.
Today, get the gift you want on the network you deserve and get $300 loans.
We opened 70 megawatts.
mules. But we brought redefined from one era. Over 90 years, continue to build as largest investors. We don't just American dream. Our era is America's end. Next era.
Coaching me. You have high blood pressure and that works fast. Simple. Core Seed, #1 brand that gives symptom relief without raising. Core Seed and HBP.
Everyone's excited about the Chevy Black Friday.
You get used to this.
B2 when you get 0 on our award-winning and SUVs.
Possible.
Now, for 72 months, 2018 and 2019, or make no month here. The Black Friday. Local Chevy dealer.
Sometimes separate business issues. They're inextricably. We're engaged in conversations about HR issues. Think about the crisis. Orders. It's really best and the brightest on the.
We want every employee place where people can raise.
Join us as HR leaders and companies.
Impeachment designed but now weapon dangerous. Aria asks, really needs to end residents under fire.
How do you someone is looking over? Not all snoopers can be. Steal your sensitive information. Hackers can intercept Wi-Fi. Not with the Nord V. It helps protect you, encrypting your online data. So easy to use. Again, your shield snoopers. Trusted internet security.
That I had while I was pregnant. Read everywhere. Treatment. Yeah.
I realized I couldn't for a new treatment option. Tumors had begun to
melted my cancer.
It's so important about
conquer cancer that saved my life.
This is CNN. Trusted name.
Way tonight in Mississippi, we anywhere near complete with one element that's ramping up. There is the relative lack into this and the Trump race and history. Our chief national correspondent show us how it all could be done. So the polls just the results so far.
Very about 1% of the precincts report. Just went up a little bit there. 9 be holding a very narrow lead. 50 was smaller a little bit ago, but at 1% into this. Except let's take a little bit here. You see the little bit that is in over here. Has to happen for Mike Espy. His old congressional. He was in Congress back in the 90s. This was his. Let's go back to 3 weeks ago. Remember where the Republican incumbent got 41%. Below that, 41%. The other candidates. Move on to tonight. Mike Espy did run it up. So this is what he has to do again tonight. Because if you look at the Republican vote 3 weeks, Cindy Hyde-Smith, another 16% for Republican votes go to the Republican incumbent. To run up the African-American vote out here, map, he has to somehow find a way to Jones in Alabama last year. That now tells us just about nothing. You have to go back to way before this competitive Democrats statewide in Mississippi in the Senate. So let's just look up here. % of the state population, 17 50%. That's interesting if it holds. Right, but that's interesting. Why is it interesting? Let's just go. Mike Espy got only 34%. It was 24% for Chris McDaniel. You would assume if it goes there, then Mike Espy can keep. Again, we're at 17%. Democratic precinct, so he's running close so far. Hours, it could be very different. So we're just going to watch. Think, Anderson. They think they will win 7 or 8 points, but they're nervous. Last night.
John King. Now with the gang, David, what are you going to be looking for? Man.
Well, what John was just saying about supercharged in something that could keep Espy in the fight. I'm looking for in those heavy, predominant state, because what we saw, quite frankly, through 18 is this ability for turnout side in some of these contests to be that can happen here. Then Espy has a chance. I can't wrap my head around election. We are just after for voters to be back in the mindset, record-setting kind of turnout. Tough challenge.
Also, I mean, Neil involved in this campaign throughout.
Espy's history, right? Race has been politics. It's basically the divide. Actually determines why Republicans and why the Republicans in the first campaign get about 15%. Probably needs about 30% of the white. Last many cycles, we've just seen get anywhere near that, and a lot of these get that in that race in Alabama. It's just hard for Democrats to vote for them. And it's also true that Democrats in a state like Mississippi, it's not a there, groundwork there, registering are dead by Democrats. And so I think they're
also, I mean, there are obviously some Democrats who
they are.
Victory. This is a different race.
Of all, you know, you look at Roy Moore, who was an adult of having relationships with teenagers against you. Cindy Hyde-Smith has been a perfect candidate. Reaching, you know, that was a real, and this is and the RNC, to your point, really getting a effort. There was a report, more than 100 people just trying to get, because they don't come, and it's not well, but they're making sure.
And this is certainly not going to change that, obviously. No.
Well, look, Cindy Hyde-Smith's going to win this race. This is not going to be a great night for. If we end up winning 7 points, that is from a to the White House. You know, the side every day in the White House, a corrosive on our ability to win, and reasons many of the Mueller probe is just so we can that preoccupy time and the media. All we be things, but we spent night talking about Donald about Mueller instead of other issues that could have been important to drive a different message out. It's just message to the president that fixation scandal is electoral consequence. But 40 House seats, the 40 House seats, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a race is close. Warning signs here.
Regardless, made tonight if she would have been elected. to the Senate, to Congress from Mississippi, and he'd be the first African American Reconstruction.
And, you know, it's a of reasons. One, it's a little bit of a lot of Democratic action happened over the years. He is somebody, he's running in a conservative state. So this is a lot about race. And very careful after Cindy Hyde-Smith. I mean, after her much. I mean, even when ads was about how embarrassed the state. It was a person who we were going to send to the Senate. Because I think everybody on the panel, he needs to have a huge effort. He hasn't into that issue. He is an African, of course, which would make history. And Kamala Harris, he's brought Barack Obama. But whether transfer and enter American population there, that's very difficult.
I want to thank everybody. Keep you posted, obviously. Also, why security advisor, why national security advisor reporting of the killing of Khashoggi. You would think something he would do it because he doesn't. Well, last former director of National Clapper next.
Car that I using the new 20 Edge ST. Cape meets in the first SUV performance team. The Ford Edge
65 or older, you may be at pneumococcal pneumonia. Serious bacterial lung can disrupt your routine. Severe cases, pneumococcal you in the hospital without warning. Miss out on what matters. A single 13 vaccine can pneumococcal pneumonia. 13 is approved for infections from 13 bacteria that cause pneumococcal. Don't get Prevnar 13. Your allergic reaction to the vaccine or its systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Redness and swelling at the injection site. Muscle pain, joint pain, less appetite. Prevention begins. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar.
Queen. How goes the kingdom? I'd like to enjoy the music.
Achievement.
I'm on my side.
But 3 of the best female performers.
To have some fun.
Her favorite, rated R.
Mother, father, Alex Cross. Mother, Alex and Bill. Friend.
Give Target Alex Cross. President is missing.
Fatima, and I love my crime.
Delicious 100 of crispy rice. Crunch.
Anti-Semitism and hate crimes. To be graffitis on buildings. Now,
Evil. CNN investigates. Hate of hate. Tomorrow at 6.
This mountain bike for only $11.
Fair and honest bidding site. An iPhone sold for less than $24. And a Schultz 4K television.
These Bluetooth headphones for 20
cases for less than $40.
Go to DealDash.com right now.
Marijuana gold rush across, transforming more and more millionaires. Former trainer reveals how you join him online. Summit attendance. John Boehner and an cannabis stocks are changing windfalls.
Cannabis Summit. Visit a18.com or 76280. 76280. 76280.
Situation Room with Roy at 5 Eastern on CNN.
National Security is dismissing the idea of a piece of intelligence. Journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Trump has already said he listened to the audio tape that his murder, saying it's today at the White House was asked if he
listened to it. I guess I think I should. What do you think?
Will you the national security access to that sort of?
How many Arabic? Yeah.
Access to an
Me to listen to it. From, I mean, if they wouldn't learn any more from.
Be able to tell you.
Well, then read a transcript too.
National Intelligence and analyst, retired Lieutenant General, author of Facts, Hard Truths from a Life Intelligence. Often makes sense to you, though he may not. If you hear the eyes of somebody, the sound of somebody being dismembered, but it may be in terms of actually what happened.
Well, as want to listen to the tape, not for voyeurism. Important as this incident was, continuously pursuing every scrap of information, data that would cast. Would want to listen to that tape regardless of the, to hear the emotion, the atmospherics of.
Even just from a journalistic standpoint, what actually happened, it then says indistinct, muffled. The sense of how quickly. I
mean, the point, literal, unemotional. He doesn't speak Arabic or understand it. He would, and again, as an attempt to dwell on, that would cast light on.
The president has said in that interview with the Washington Post, affirmatively say the killing of Khashoggi.
Well, no, it isn't, and I think this is a pretty good illustration of the bar often used by the administration. When the intelligence community comes in an assessment, you can, short of a video reflecting Mohammed killed the journalist, I am sure that the data from several sources, how things work in Saudi Arabia at high confidence level, not only was implicated but directed this killing.
Saudi Arabia works that this surgeon hits, a hit squad to walk into a Saudi embassy. Blocked from doing so.
Absolutely. I think it has huge implications, for the relationship and for our insight into what either Gina Haspel and agency or Dan Coates, the Director of National Intelligence. Well, you can perhaps the intelligence evidence is so compelling. Not share that with the Congress.
They want to bury the
inference you could draw. I don't know,
right.
But
dictates. Director Clapper, thank you for. I want to check with Chris, see what he's working on for Cuomo Prime.
I'm going to piggyback on the election results. The polls being closed down there in Mississippi. Exit polls, we're going to see real percentages of lead, and we'll be reporting that for people in real on these emails that see from the government about Dr. Jerome Corsi, a associate, let's say. What pieces of the and much better, and then of course surrounding Paul Manafort. We'll get into that.
On about 4 minutes from now. Thanks. The 12th annual December 9th. You can find out about Hero of the Year at CNNHeroes.com. Okay, we also wanted to show you how it works. So take a look. I'm Anderson Cooper. Really proves that one person. This year, we're making it easy for you to support Heroes.com and click Donate in Top 10 CNN Hero to make Heroes fundraiser on CrowdRise. Donation, which is tax deductible, amount you can make a big difference in changing work. CNN is proud of each cause and celebrate all changing the world. You can your phone. Just go to CNNHeroes.com. Will help them help others.
Share the love this today at CNN Heroes. To the CNN Heroes Tribute Show. Will be matched dollar for dollar.
Is a place where the community by individuals with intellectual and development aside from a lot of hoping and dreaming. It takes resources. 17 CNN Hero of the Year grants, we have been able to
Darian is just lights up the room whenever she goes anywhere.
I love he laugh all the time.
Work. When I showed those, she was very for a job there. Oh, she was over the moon.
Everyone deserves to work. You are different.
Deal out of hiring our employees in their lives, and hopefully they will feel they are.
I think everyone's different. Everyone just needs a
I got the job. It's a little bit longer, but
you know, to CNN Heroes, to Subaru, so that Subaru could match those donations. This is happening.
We began the hour with the Russian investigation. The New York Times has it, our CNN line, the lead is striking when President Trump's lawyers on Manafort's discussion after he agreed to cooperate with Robert, one of the president's lawyers, and two others familiar. The Times reports some legal experts speculate for a presidential pardon. Daily interactive newscast on Facebook. It's get all the details. Watch it weeknights. /Anderson Cooper Full Circle. The Times reports some legal experts speculate for a presidential pardon. Cast on Facebook, it's new. You get to vote on some. Watch it weeknights, 6:25 p.m. Cooper Full Circle. News continues. Prime time starts now. Chris?
Thank you, Andrew. Prime time on another big election. The polls have closed in Mississippi right now. This is the final midterms, and it will be decided. The big question, can Republicans keep a crucial, a ruby red state? Update tonight. And see on the bottom of your screen all night what the vote. We're going deep on this other story from CNN that shows Mueller puzzle. One of Trump ally, I don't even know how to put it right. This Jerome Corsi fits in with shedding light on WikiLeaks and what is Mueller. It's complicated, but we can do it. All right, here's what we know for sure on the other seat in the House today. That makes 30 swing of power, and it went popular vote pounding for. He lost by, despite millions fewer asked. So the spread was in a smaller pool. Aren't going to have the same turn election. We're now waiting for Senate race decided. Poll ago in Mississippi Eastern, incumbent Smith fighting to after a string of controversies blocked her bid or make a difference in Mississippi. Added to the ugliness, Mike Espy would not in Mississippi. For sure, it's going to be all about for Espy. Off an upset. He do that. The African 40%. If he out there and he from white voters shot, he would be the first to win a Senate seat there. 100 results are coming in. Let's get on it. John King, all from an hour in. How much?
An hour in, we're just Andy Hyde-Smith, who was returns, Chris, the Republican open to lead, and not if you go back in history, you just mentioned it. This should be a Republican blowout. You're looking at that and you're saying, great. Number one, so it's early. But to the point you were making, from here, this is Hinds County. This is where area of the state. Mike Espy needs to. The reason we're here tonight, 72%. Remember, we had 4 weeks ago, the top two. So can Mike Espy at nothing has come in. Early map, you're saying what? There are some clues. Mike Espy, you want this? You're happy with this? Western part of the state, we have 100% of the precincts. Some votes could trickle in. You're winning this. Places on the target list. But it's not big enough to, but it's a building block. Now you're waiting to see what most Espy not only is, as you mentioned, turn on numbers. That has to. Then the next big test into Madison County. Back 3 weeks. Hyde-Smith wins with Espy 41. Right? Logic would tell you that McDaniel's votes go here. Can Mike Espy do well here? Can he do better here as the map? But I will say that we're going to be.
It's a long shot, no question about it. But as you said, ordinary even be here in real time. I can't ask than you, that's for sure. John, very much. All right, now take a look at the bottom. more percentage of the vote, all the percentages. And if it gets interesting, I'll stop back to John, and he'll explain what and why. Right now, on this, though, CNN's Malika Henderson. And it's great to have you three together again on another big. Dana, let's start with play is here. Right? Usually, you know, and I'd be whenever I'm reporting on. We're here. Why?
Incredibly unusual. Pointing out Mississippi, ruby red. I mean, they're right here since we were born, Chris Cuomo, and the Senate, and because in Smith, the Republican, off the split, the major Republican Chris McDaniel has a good support among Tea Party for in Mississippi, and but Republicans at Mississippi, within Mississippi, this is a warning sign tonight. Obviously, if it's more than a warning, even the fact that we're here. Having said that, the Democrats I'm talking to tonight, I don't think they're going to get to the finish line. The same playbook, Alabama, but demographics there are very different, even though from New York, there are more similarities.
And yet, even Hyde Smith should win this. Didn't stop Trump from going all in on and making a play has to be called out. Mike Espy in. Mel, you tell me if we to play, and I'll play the president. What the president said.
Cindy's and he's far left. How does he fit in with me? How does he fit in?
Do you see a left-right? Was this an allusion to something as color?
It's hard to get the benefit of is like this, but it does seem he was talking about the idea like Espy. He's Democrat. He's not really far moderate, sort of new the Clinton mold. I think that's probably what out more, and this would be they would make Democrat this idea that Mississippi value they don't fit in with Republican value, so that's what there. If you're the go to Mississippi, you want to avoid Alabama. It's a state that voted for him, I think, points or something like that. So you know, the thing is, for obviously is turnout is they make about 37, you know, or something.
I wonder
like
how Espy and the organized ground. What the know, and you know, I may have read it from you, but that there, Hyde Smith, what she said to a public hanging. I said I want to apologize. I grew up in politics. David Chalian, repeat your mistake. Apologize if you never repeat it because they'll count twice. And that's what she did there. And I wonder that, did you really apologize? Wouldn't even own what you said.
Right. There's a political operative in this country, Democratic side, but who would take the way responded to what she said and dealt to do. You remember that she had the governor, and she just refused to engage on it.
Very
Trumpy. To put the apology out her voice, but she didn't do that as a validator for her because I want to embrace what she said, obviously.
Before I let you guys go, another 39. Now, you know, no election go, but there was, well, is it a is it a ripple? What is it now? 30
Period. Yeah. 40 seats. 40 seats. Oh, we still have another seat left to California, but 39. I mean, and you know, we're going to see the leadership tomorrow. Because is going to come up for caucus to see if she's going to remain on for a full House vote on January. That kind of, she's got a lot to go in and propel her potentially to victory.
The more it helps Nancy Pelosi because of to get them there. And I may have interviewed, but she was nowhere near as revealing as she was. Series that you do. Very good report. Better interviewer on that day. Dana Bash, thank you very much to all of you. If things get sure to stay with us. We're going to have the election results right on the bottom of the screen. We'll put them up with information when it's more of the same. The probe that have come out. And surrounding Paul Manafort. But we have it all laid out next.
Cole, take new Dayquil. Oh, cool. Rise it with an intense. Vicks VapoCool. The yet vaporize your cold.
Our new breakfast will get you Holiday Inn Express now for at least 20% our annual sale.
Often break up mucus with often mucus. Just one all day or all night. Max your cold relief with it.
Grubhub is a order any food you desire. Or this. A little bit of this. 85,000 restaurants. Grubhub.
Fulfill. Love. The extraordinary. And soar. And experience the Mazda 6. Feel alive.
Did you know the same hotel? That's why TripAdvisor searches price on the hotel you want. Your TripAdvisor.
Without the luxury price. Go to Steinmart. Prices you'll love. Steinmart.
Primetime team burned a lot of calories right now, and that's well involving the Mueller investigation. Some of it is not, and there are poured out. So, had to break out the whiteboard. Assange, Julian Assange. Why you guys spend any time? Every time WikiLeaks is Council's probe in terms of Russian interference, hold on. Julian Assange directed of the same organization. That's according to Assange and WikiLeaks. You know, just put them in. Here's what we know. Of speculation here has been, and the theory is that the GR-12 that were indicted, they were indicted for hacking them to Assange. Becomes representative. They wound up doing the distributing. Assange U.S. government disagrees. In a secret criminal charge filed, and for what, we don't know yet. But become relevant again in a second. Came out today that we have to go through. The president that we have heard caught up is Roger Stone, all right? On the issue of what was. Many wondered if he had come to test him about this on. He says he never did. Then, of the story, which is from what was going on, and number 2 in the has obtained. It was gadabout here in New York politics. Credico had talked to Assange as Roger Stone in part. However, Credico interviewed Assange. He had supposedly had his exchange. So I kind of X'd that out because it doesn't make sense. Source when he interviewed Assange afterwards with him before. In fact, he denies all the big discussion that is today. Jerome Corsi, conspiracy theorist. I was being a little playful in the vis-a-vis Stone. If you'd have things to say about Jerome Corsi, trouble. Here's why. Never did anything. WikiLeaks information. What? Roger Stone, says Jerome Corsi, government, more importantly, went to court and said, go find about WikiLeaks. I guess he thought Corsi access. According to the U.S. government filings, Stone never. I never did anything. What you're talking about. All right. Show that Corsi, Roger Stone, did pass one called C's in how this person is identified, pleading. And he led Roger to believe that this person went to Julia. They say they have records. Now, the trouble is that Corsi deleted cover this period when with WikiLeaks in October. Never a good sign, okay? But believes that this asking for did pass it along this to get some kind of information, which led Corsi to say there are two big things heard, and then he had all this other jazz that he of information. All right. Suggested to Stone, not unlike is exactly what happened. Mean for Roger Stone? Well, from the U.S. government's perspective, he was lying to them. He wasn't about Randy Credico, or maybe, but he went to this guy and he got information. What's interesting there? It's going to be lying. For the plea deal, now he's walking away from it and leaking out how that helps him. All right, so that takes us, all right, and does any of this stuff get to the president or his campaign? Comes in, all right? Now I want to put this in some, before we get to this part of it, right? I mean, that's part of what the trouble, that's why he had to make a plea deal. I believe he violated by continuing to lie. People around this president lying about surrounding all of these questions in the president who promised to be different, who promised to be best. What a pack of truth he has. And that takes us to he has one thing that we don't know, but we're going to know soon. Here's counsel says Manafort has been lying. The big question, therefore, is what? One of two things. One is he had his money, how he stashed his money, how he got his money. Of this discussion. The other one is that he's been lying and the interference. The Guardian comes. He met with Julian Assange. Years back to like 2012. Interesting. That's why I wanted to finish. Because Manafort did in Ukraine, wealthy and also in a government, he these kinds of people, directly or indirectly. That is an interest of intrigue. If reporting is not mine, I cannot verify it neither. It would also be closer to the president. Most recently, as far as the Guardian, the way that was relevant was in March of 2000. Chairman, what the heck would he been doing? Now, what's all this down here? Part for you to make. Paul Manafort, what we believe defense agreement with the United States. There's nothing all the times. It's more like a mob. People in the interest of their own share information. Investigators are saying so they can get their story. Allows it. Rudy as much today, saying yes, I've been lawyers and they've been telling me what the investigators were asking for them, and it's been. However, why do I put it in quotes? Because it's not really a joint defense agreement. We just talk loose information. Here's why it's interesting. What if the answer, with the help of Rudy Giuliani and his legal team, understanding with Paul Manafort that Mueller knows true is a question in terms of what Robert Mueller puts out. There you have it, the best that we got. A lot of new information. So, insiders believe? Do they believe that Manafort? Well, two big shots called that dropped just today. Why? David Bossie, we've got a book that describes enemies from the president. Am I in there? Next.
Set attack through
goods on
everything. Here's the.
These are in the Panama.
I want to keep this project.
Journalists have been.
Papers only on Epic.
One, we freely share worldwide and reason.
Donate now at St. Jude. You see the St. Jude logo.
This interrupted streaming, brilliant sound clarity. Dell Cinema on the XPS 13 at Dell.com.
Anti-Semitism and hate crime.
Used to be graffitis on buildings. Now.
This evil, CNN investigates. State of Hate, tomorrow at 6.
Hey, your Warby Parker glass.
across our nation. It's transforming more. Former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how for the American Cannabis Summit attended John Boehner and which cannabis stocks life-changing windfall.
Cannabis Summit, visit 18.com to 76280 to 76280 to 76280.
This is CNN. Trusted name.
For all the Mueller news found in the last few days, Manafort, you got Rob, and despite the constant from Team Trump, the president also worked. That is one of the messages in a new book that Trump my base stronger. A new book is Trump's Enemies: How the Presidency. It's written by two former push the president's agenda. Corey Lewandowski on the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Here.
Thanks for
You're
having
here
us.
often. Let me ask you something first about the news, and then I want to this for the American people. Paul Manafort, you don't believe him? I know he has the capacity to tell types of issues.
All
All right. Record clear. Do you with Julian Assange?
Oh, I have no idea. Manafort's a bad guy. In prison. I think he ought to have no. I guy that I've ever done him, never met him. So on any number of things, is guilty from being found capable of a lot of things. I have no idea.
He denies it. Basically, everybody who denies it, that the Guardian think with Assange, March, campaign chairman, about it, or did he keep that you can't say?
Look, I wouldn't have heard a lot of meetings that we found out that I had no knowledge. Took a lot of meetings from Tower and didn't work out.
He meets or just meets?
Who he was meeting with, I don't know who people with, so he wouldn't have shared with me. Had one of those. In Paul's defense, something that he thought Julian would give him, it would be monetary benefit to Paul, operated, or it would send one of his cohort have that meeting. So I don't know, but if he did, business or a monetary.
How bad is it for the States if it turns out that Manafort went in Assange and bad stuff is coming? I hope you remember this when, because I'm looking with the U.S.
for hypothetical, I have no
100%.
idea, look, you know, fired and Corey left. Paul Manafort was fired in the campaign. We just didn't go with him. We weren't participants in him. How his thinking, reason that the president ended up getting rid of him. I think Paul Manafort was liked it, but at the end of the president recognized.
What do you make of Corey? All the involved in
Hold
Trump.
on, you call that chicken scratch on a white?
Oh, no.
I was going to say that's different.
That's a lot of information. Time I did. My arm is hurting.
Yes.
I don't know. That was a lot of information we do on the show. But there are a lot of to this president and his advisors. What happened to?
Look, there are some people who never met the president. Carter Page never met the president, or might have sat through one meeting, a 2-year period. Those people lied to the FBI, and he's happens, but it should happen on both sides of the aisle. Or McCabe lies to the FBI. He doesn't have it yet.
Of a group like that for me. Well, but yet into the book about what's going on. This has one of the deep understandings, which is deep to you in this book, that there were people that out to Now, and as you both know, I am because I believe that the ultimate act by through the FBI was getting out and shot Haymaker not once, and I don't see proof of anybody that in a way that's the part I don't get, Dave. The president, and I would never, and you know, if I want to hurt then Donald Trump, Clinton,
through
the way
we've seen the Strzok and Page information that has come out.
They were lovers. They were banding about.
They were lovers. Chris, this is what they were doing. They were taking it to reporters. They were then taking those articles, expand their investigation. They were self-court with false information to citizens. This is not the way your political adversary
things, and that's first of all, it's or FISA things. Multiple judges and proffers
who were being
lied. No, I don't think that we know that they were.
The Mueller potential report, just for a minute. Look, if Mueller's going to be fair in a talks about those issues as well. The Hillary Clinton, the fake Russian, talk about the McCabe.
But two things, Dave. The idea, what he puts in the report. Well, that Hillary funded. It's not like discovery. Nope. But the point is, relevant to him.
Folks, is important.
Why do you think we don't know? You had an inspector general.
What we need is of those FISA applications, classification of the Bruce.
I'm all in favor of declassification all the time, but I think is it not a distraction? Not you trying to divert what Trump did, him did, and what Clinton and so trying to make.
Look, here's what it came down. If the same thing, in our book, sit down interview with the president, ask him, do you knew of Crossfire Heart investigation into campaign for political on them on domestic soil? Barack Obama knew. Yes, he did know.
Who, the president?
Number two, the question did that to Barack Obama. That'd be called treason. Jail for 100 years.
The basis, if the president believes that we should now take into account to me.
Chris, we
I'm
have
sure believe it.
Well,
We have
but Chris, we have sources that absolutely know documents that outline when Crossfire Heart came. It was Comey and Brennan. One name only is redacted email, and it's not.
And what name do you think it is?
Is Barack Obama. That's because it's a classified. Tell us they've seen them.
Oh, you that you guys say it's fake news.
Time it is.
You guys are always right? This is what I'm saying. Disparaging. You cannot use his for its truth. And thought that Trump Tower wasn't. We know that speculation. Okay, we know that a lot phone call away from the truth.
But
why he doesn't a phone call away from the truth to the DOJ with these matters. He never has. But still, wiretapping.
No, Chris, his team has been briefed.
He hasn't. Because he would have come out if he had all the time, Dave. That's not true. Why wouldn't he say?
Department of Justice by the members who have been. They've been briefed. They know what's in these documents. Have they not released them to the American people?
But then why did all integrity of the institutions that things were done the right way?
People who had FBI badges spying politics. That should never be allowed.
FISA documents. Have you seen the FISA documents? No. Conclusion about documents.
We agree with you. We agree. Transparency is the best thing.
I want to see it all. issue that
Sunlight
someone's
is
going to
the
explain
best
to me
disinfectant.
something. That has not been the motto for this administration. The president, transparency has not been. I'm not even talking about the taxes. That's too easy. But that, look, you want transparency. You don't always want transparency because I think it comes out. But you have to remember, you had advance the surveillance with off on by layers and layers
Chris,
of
you
management.
have to went to the FISA court to ask for happen. Not only was it denied, book stepped off the bench and called a second of the government coming and asking for an application. It's politically motivated. You have to deny it. Denied the first application. They came back. Had been written and used those stories.
I love the book and I think it's provocative, and that's why I'm. You don't know if that's true what you just said. You would have to see the FISA document.
I've seen
Unless
the
if
FISA
it's
document.
Devin Nunes, not a guy who has made transparency a stock. The guy went to the White House to deal with an over. So his credibility is in doubt.
We know unequivocally.